feels like it's gonna last me for the rest of my life and beyond. I'm very excited to be unboxing a Strada easel today. I have heard so many good things about them. Oh, it's got some heft to it. Well, it's a perfect size. This is the Micro Plus, which is great because I want to take it more on hikes. I live close to the Rocky Mountains, so this is going to be perfect. Okay, so pull this little lever out, and that is, oh, that's great. You can really feel the quality of the material. I believe it's aluminum. I'll put the details in the caption below. That up and down panel holder, and you can also bring it, oh, comes all the way up. Push that back in. I believe it's 10 inches of a panel height that you can put in, and then obviously width is however long you want. Let's push that back down. I think it's really neat that the panel holder is also the clasp that holds the easel closed. I think that's really smart. So we have the Strada little brochure booklet. I should probably look up the instructions. I do know every year in January, and I believe it's also September, they have a Strada challenge where you paint from life every single day, post it on social media, and you can be entered to win a Strada easel. Keep that in mind for September. So then I have two side palettes here. It's a great little size. So these are the plexiglass palettes. And just hook on the side like this. Feel really sturdy. That feels like a really nice base to paint from. And then this is also plexiglass. I've heard they can scratch easily, so you kind of have to be careful with that. But I've never actually used it before. So it's going to be a great experiment. And then if you go on the bottom, there's the place to put the attachment to the tripod. So I also got the Strada tripod, and it came with other few goodies. So let's go through those first. So here we have a very cute little paint scraper, purposely for the plexiglass. So that'll be handy. And this is also going to be very handy because I will probably use this more in the studio than even painting outside, to be honest. But it is a paint tube opener. And I've had so many paint tubes lately that have been painful to open. So I'm excited for this as well. And then this is a little hook that you can just hang off the side, whichever way. Most likely for this, but if you wanted to, I've also seen some artists have like a half a roll of toilet paper that they've kind of put a wire through. This is a little brush cleaner. Perfect little size. I don't use solvent when I paint. I've chosen to paint solvent free. But I still obviously need to clean my brushes. And so I normally use the Winsor & Newton brush cleaner, their non-toxic brush cleaner, which I've found very useful. But I find it works best in conjunction with an oil. So I've chosen to use Safflower oil. It's usually a little bit less expensive, and it's a slow drying oil. So I will probably either put the Winsor & Newton brush cleaner in this, or maybe some Safflower oil actually. It would also actually be a good little travel container for my linseed oil. And also I use a chalk medium. So I mix marble dust with linseed oil, and that's my medium that I choose to use. So this would actually be a nice little carrier for it. And then what's this? Oh, instructions. Those are always helpful. Let us get out the tripod. So this comes in this little bag, which is nice and compact. It has a decent weight to it, but not crazy heavy. So I think it's about 3.5 pounds, 3.2, somewhere in there. goes down so nice. Here's the little quick release plate that will go into the bottom of the panel. Strada has a great instructions video for their tripod. The biggest thing that I've read about the tripod is be careful when you're untightening the legs, because if you go too far, the leg will fall out and that voids the warranty. So that's a bummer, don't want to do that. So yeah, first one, you just kind of pull these legs up. There we go. Turn, yeah. But it is carbon fiber, which is obviously lighter. It has a ball joint on the top. I feel like I should rewatch the instructions video before I put this together. Let's take a look at the paper instructions. I'm kind of sure what these are. Oh, so these are for the bottom, and you can screw them in for use in sand or snow. So that's really handy. Unscrew the rubber. Oh, that's gonna be so handy. Nice, very pointy. That'll help keep things more solid when you're painting outdoors for sure. Beauty. Before we set up the easel on the tripod, I wanted to go through and show a bit of a size comparison. I know when I was looking at the Strada, originally daydreaming about maybe having one day, I was curious about the size and how it would fit my panels, how it would compare to my paint tubes and the paintbrush and all of that kind of thing. So I thought I would give a bit of comparison. I'm going to put these on the side again. This one comes pre-installed with the plexiglass in the smaller side tray, so they are nesting, which is great, so they can fit inside when you're packing up, and it's all one self-contained piece. You can put them on whichever side you prefer, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is a 5x7, so let's give that one a shot. If I want to have it horizontal, go there. I really like how the upper panel holder really doesn't take too much space into the panel itself, which is nice. You could always come down a little bit farther if you wanted even less. Just pull this out a bit. You might be able to tell as I'm having to press things up, there's a bit of resistance there, and that's good because that means it'll be more sturdy when you go outside and it's windy or things like that. So happy to feel a little bit of resistance. There you go, fits the 5x7 perfectly. Here is a, let's see, 8x10. So this is the max that is supposed to be able to be put in. That fits easily. I feel like I could actually probably go a little bit higher, but then you're getting closer to the panel coming out. But I feel like I could probably do another couple inches. Try it out. Okay, that is not very sturdy whatsoever. I would not recommend a 12-inch height of a panel. You can get an extender though, which is kind of intriguing. I generally don't paint bigger than a 8x10 when I go plein painting. So I'm just not fast enough. So that's kind of the panel. Here's a few different brushes. This is from the Emily Hughes brush set, which is it's beautiful. Also the perfect size for plein air painting in my opinion. So I will probably be using my set for that. So these are the Princeton Aspen collection with the longer handle. Some different tubes. You can kind of see if you want to bring tubes, you won't be storing them inside like this because there wouldn't be enough room. But just to kind of give you a sense of how big the easel is. This is the Micro Plus. I'm thinking about maybe getting one of the box that has slots for your different paints. I can't recall the brand name right now. If I find it, I will put a link in the description below, but I think that might be less to carry, particularly once I get a sense of which colors I kind of gravitate most to when I plein air paint. I am pretty new to plein air painting, especially with oil paint. I've only done it twice in 2024, so I'm really excited. It's a goal for me to go out at least 10 to 12 times in 2025. Again, like I said, I live really close to the Rocky Mountains, so I'm really excited to be putting this to good use in the coming months. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you would like to kind of see this easel in use in the coming months. I'm definitely going to be bringing you guys along on my plein air painting journey. Actually, that's not true. I've been 3 times last year because my friend and I went when we were down in Oregon. We went to Haystack Rock. It was just a challenge to paint this one because I was very envious of my friend. She's a pastel artist, but she had an easel, a little tripod, and so she was creating her pieces and looked very comfortable, and I was like sitting on a piece of driftwood trying not to get sand everywhere. It was an experience, but it was fun. But this is going to be a lot more fun. So obviously all the dimensions are on the Strada Easel site. Again, I'll put a link. This video is not sponsored, by the way. I'm just really excited about the easel. I did research before I put it on my Christmas list, and I took it off my Christmas list because I was like, they are an investment. I will say that. They're not inexpensive, but holding one in my hands now, if you have the ability to purchase one, I think they are a great investment. I think they feel like, this feels like it's gonna last me for the rest of my life and beyond. So I think it's gonna be very durable. I am not afraid of it breaking. It feels very sturdy. So it's made in the USA. I'm from Canada, but still kind of nice to support a North American company. Oh, one thing I did not show about the easel earlier that I am also excited about is there's a little hook on the bottom here, right here, and you can hang your backpack to give it a little extra weight, because when you're outside it can be a little windy. So for the quick release, there's a little latch right here, and you just pop that over, and then you will press this out to the side, and then the little quick release pad comes out quite easily. So this piece will go on here. It has lens direction, so I'm going to put the lens facing the opening rather than the hinges. So I'm going to find the hole and screw that in. It's feeling pretty solid on there. Now, because I want to make sure the quick release is open, I'm going to leave this all the way open. Moment of truth. So you can see on the back here, there's like a little foot and a big foot. So the little foot will go on this side, and the big foot will go here. I'm going to try to lower this a little bit. So this is really cool. You can get actually quite low. You have little foot, big foot, little foot, big foot. So I'm going to just put that in here. And this auto snaps in, and then we just make sure we flick our little quick release back in. This is the adjuster for the ball head joint itself. Now, one thing I do know is very important. Only use this adjuster to adjust your position of your easel. So you just need to push that down, and I can move this anywhere. Like, so let's say I want a little bit of a angle like that. And I'm gonna open this up. Let's say I think it's like, oh, it's not quite right, I want it more angled. Make sure you come back here to adjust it. Do not try to force this. It'll cause the ball joint to loosen over time. Say I want a thing, I just come down here and then I retighten it. So then, if I come in, and I put I think that looks pretty good. So I think the most important part is do not over twist the legs. So there's a little kind of cue, and you just need a quarter turn. So you really don't need much at all, and it just slides right out. Third leg. To be honest, I was a little worried about this part, about unscrewing them too much or loosening them too much, but it's pretty simple. You barely need any turn for the legs to come out. And Strada does have a video on their YouTube channel that if the leg does fall out, they'll show you how to put it back together. Let's get the easel on top. So I have the easel ready to go in. What's going on? Snaps right in there. Close the quick release. Now let's open it up. I think this one I would be careful about tightening too tight as well. It does kind of mark up the metal behind it, but not a big deal. And I did kind of want to show the weight part a little bit so you can see the little hook here. You would use a real backpack, but I'm going to show the concept. When it's windy or something, it'll provide stability. That's that. So those are my first impressions of the Strada easel. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you found it useful. These are just my thoughts. The Strada fits what I was looking for in an easel. Durable, lightweight, compact, easy to use. I'll obviously be putting all of that to the test when I actually go outside painting. Which, if you are interested in plein air painting and following along with my other creative pursuits, just drop me a follow and I'll catch you next time. Bye!